Earlier, Kutsia was fatally injured while trying to protect some girls from an armed robber. She wakes up to find herself reincarnated in a fantasy world as Cain, who belongs to a noble family, who has passed. He keeps his memories from his life, so his family considers him a genius. At the age of 5 he undergoes a forced baptism. The gods grant him all their blessings, and max out all his stats. When his family sees this they warn him to keep their blessings a secret, but he sets his sights on becoming an adventurer. Many experiments continue as Cain is summoned to the place where Mana officially hands over the key and map to her new palace bearing her unborn title. Young Cain is excitedly thanking him as the old man explains the reason for the king's absence in his absence. When he met someone, the monarch still wanted to meet him to play a reverse game, but the Mana held him back and managed to convince him to tend to his first duty means can go home early, but her plan to live peacefully is thwarted when Duke Eric interrupts their meaning to challenge her to a reverse game given her position. Cain can't refuse her request, which opens Pandora's box as Mana and the other nobles make their wishes known. After Duke gets everyone interested in playing him, he follows the map and reaches his new house, and finds it in a dilapidated state, which makes him a little sad from the outside. All the windows are broken, plants have invaded even the main gate and other parts. As he approaches the front door, he hopes nothing will come out to attack him. Cain excuses himself before entering. It's dusty and the lights aren't working. He assumes the magic stones are gone, so he uses a light bulb to illuminate the place, continues to investigate and is amazed at the size and simplicity of using his amazing magical abilities to instantly clean and repair the entire palace. Everything is restored to new condition, after which he lies in his room for a moment to realize the truth that everything in his range of vision belongs to him. His thoughts are interrupted, so to tell him that calls have come, he descends to express his gratitude, follows him to his new home, honors that the new leader asked him coming and admitting that he even cried with the help of his teenager. He promises to work hard only for her. His butler Cole also introduces himself, who says that he is there on the recommendation of Cain's family. The master did, but the boy wanted to downplay it. Sylvia ordered her servants to clean the place, but they quickly realized that the entire residence was clean to a high standard. Sylvia was surprised when Cain took it for granted that he had cleaned the castle with magic. She wonders how she managed it, and Sylvia tells her master that they will pack their personal belongings for the new house. The butler echoes the servant's sentiment and suggests that she return to her old house, reminding her that she has older brothers at home. He runs there to meet them, and they are surprised to see that his brother has been given a peerage and a palace. His sister is more excited than he was to see her palace, but the brothers show her. They try to intimidate. Since the mansion is destroyed, it might be haunted, which freaks her out a bit, but she trusts Cain to protect her. He just reassures her that nothing scary will happen. Her sister Cain's parents die later when they visit their new home. They are surprised. It's not that the house is old, but on the contrary. His mother is a little confused to see that it is like a new house, because he was sure that it was run down and ruined when he arrived a few years ago. Small renovations and cleaning continues with a tour of the place with the help of magic, and they are amazed at the standard they have managed to restore it. His father explains that he needs to know things. The nobles love our work, and so they decorate their castles with them to express this love. For example, painting vases, armor, and in some cases mounted monsters are common. Suddenly suspecting a hot enemy attack that Sylvia yelled at everyone from Joel, rushed to the scene with his son, forgetting to tell even his father that the servant's point was placed on the dragon statue that Cain had installed according to his father's recommendation. Shocked by the sight and wondering why he was subjected to such a thing, he admits that he defeated him in battle. Garm can't believe what he heard, revealing that the red dragon is a disaster-class monster. If so, it would be a very close fight, and some of the members are not coming back alive. After hearing this, surprise Cain, who advises him to explain to his servants in the future because it was so easy to defeat his father. He closes the rant by saying that a mounted red dragon is worth 1,000 platinum coins. I did the currency conversion, and it comes out to just over $70 million. Their conversation is interrupted by another scream. They rush in and it's his mom, who freaks out about the sprayer she installed in the toilet. Dad is curious to see what the fuss is about. He uses it, and everyone loves it, so he wants it installing it in their house as well. His father feels that his guests will enjoy it, which confuses Cain, who explains to his son that he must throw a party for the debut of his new mansion, because that evening Cain will be in his office. O is standing. Sylvia and Colin insist that she throw a party, but her butler manages to get hold of a list of people to invite her, and the things she'll need since she's a lower-ranking noble, said he could not send the items. To invite the king, because it would be rude to the hospitality, because Sylvia, instead of doing it in the traditional way, in the coming days, offers to present her unique image, a special bottle that has never been seen before in the world uses glasses. Guests will also take home a gift for the nobles, who will move on to food and drinks. Then he will give his personal chef the recipe for a Hamburg steak dish. Then Sylvia will be invited to taste it, and how delicious it is. Does not believe that he chases the meal with a fizzy juice, and Fizz can't believe how much it goes with the meat. He's never seen a drink with such properties in his life. He explains that he used magic to fizz the regular wine. When he is not yet of age, he wants him to tell whether the bubbles are too strong or not. The husband takes advantage of this to taste a few bottles under the guise of tasting the drink to let his master know that a messenger has arrived to make an opinion. Stops the colon. From the royal palace, he is summoned by the king, who is flanked by Manor and Duke Eric Kane. Afraid that there were heavy ears in the room, the king glared at him, before beginning to complain about not getting an invitation. The Duke and Manor rub their invitations in her face for her debut party at the palace, and she's not happy. You can tell it's cut deep as she insists he gave her the palace while she was waiting for him. Eric reminds the king that only high-ranking nobles can invite her to their castles. The monarch, teary-eyed, calms him down by saying that he is Kane's father-in-law, and gives him an apologetic explanation before personally handing him an invitation. Much to the king's delight, rubbing it in the other two's faces, he goes back to his palace to tell his staff that the king will be visiting, much to their surprise, until he reveals that the third princess, Celestia, and the duke's daughter is brides. The servants scream in shock as he arrives on the night of the banquet, and the nobles turn to address them as they arrive at the palace, all of them seemingly shocked by the red dragon that Kane defeats. With everyone the assembled, Kane delivers his opening remarks as guests take a sip before commenting on how good it tastes. Even his father is impressed by the drink. Kane explains how he used water magic to cool him down. When the king enters with the princess and Celestia, he tells everyone to return to their pleasant conversation. He sits down at his table, and immediately serves her a drink, admires her in a glass, and the poet comments medically on her beauty, takes a sip of the contents, and gets even more excited as bubbles form in his mouth. He is served a Hamburg steak, and it impresses the taste palate of the kingdom. The king brings all the elements he likes and asks the Telestra for his opinion, and gives him "I like it." The queen also bothers a little to show off the toilet spray. The king is curious to see what all the fuss is about. He uses it, and likes it so much that he orders Kane to install it in the palace. He is impressed everything he has been through since entering the house. The king gives him the highest praise, and remarks that he has the highest hospitality. Everyone is surprised that such a compliment has been paid to him, and young Kane Colin pulls his master aside, and begins to clap his hands to inform him after he arrives. He heads to the entrance to meet a high-ranking nobleman, thanks Kane for the invitation, but takes the opportunity to liken his palace to a doghouse. Filming Colin as he enters warn him of the mounted monster so he doesn't get scared, but Kane stops Butler. They join him as he screams in fear. The host apologizes for not informing him. As he sees Kane entering the hall continues to abuse, he starts shooting. Judging by the attendees and their reactions, they aren't a fan of it either, as he complains that it's too noisy as he serves the drink. A senior noble takes a sip. He starts looking down from the drink before tasting how nice it tastes and surprised at his uniqueness, but he tries to downplay the food and loves it but lies that it's disgusting. He continues to be rude. Colin asks his boss to relax, because the Corgino is designed to calm him down. Kane brings a few of the glass cups as gifts, but the Corgino wants them all, even though the contestants are told to take home, and he also wants a recipe for Pronto until he's ready to leave, which Kane politely declines. Infuriates Marquis, he begins to scold him, but he stands firm until the king arrives. The monarch catches the misbehaving basket. The king puts him in his place, and never to repeat such behavior. Wears it and tells him he can be sympathetic with it. Show all the basket apologizes, and wipes off scar. Eye goes to Kane and reveals that he knows the king set it up so the basket can see who it is. The monarch hears them, and pulls Kane to him, and tells him he's not a fan of her manipulation, which makes the duke and his daughter laugh. The king later invites her to the palace, where she insults him some more.